No one can blame you for walking away. Too much rejection, nah. No love injection, nah. Life can be easy. It's not always swell. Don't tell me truth hurts you, little girl, 'cause it hurts like hell. But down in the underground, you'll find someone true. Down in the underground, will answering a crystal moon. Boozhoo! Welcome back to Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo, a podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Nanaboozhoo, and this is Natasha.
Boozhoo!
And this is everybody else. On the guitar, Michael Lyons. Gotta get me out of here! I'm underground. Gotta get me out of here! I'm underground. Oh yeah. Welcome to Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo, a podcast about Ojibwe language and culture too. How you doing, sweetie?
Oh, I'm doing great.
All right. That's a good way to start a show, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, hey, Boozhoo! And welcome back to Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo. And that was kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
You know, the old David Bowie tune from Labyrinth. Hey, Grieving Turtle's here, sweetie.
Boozhoo!
Boozhoo, Grieving Turtle. Was the audio on that song loud enough? I turned it down on this end, and I hope that wasn't like really quiet. There's a 10% chance that me playing around with the audio made that too quiet. But in any case, welcome back to the show. And it was good? Good. Miigwech. This is a podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. And we like to call it Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo, because that's my name, Nanaboozhoo. and Boozhoo means hello, ha, sweetie.
That's right.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely and the talented,
Oh, would you cut it out?
Natasha. Ikadon Boozhoo, Weenie Mushain. Say hello.
Boozhoo, everybody. Welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Did you want to give the Ojibwe word of the day?
Me? You want me to do it?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Today's Ojibwe word of the day is, if I can find it, Gamisqua Wakogog. Gamisqua Wakogog, the place of the red cedars. And this is what the Ojibwe people called the place that is now called Cass Lake. Gamisqua Wakogog, the place of the red cedars. And this has been your Ojibwe word of the day. Back to you, Nanaboozhoo. Nah.
Thank you, sweetie. Kamiskwa Wakogag, the place of the red cedars. And, it's really a pretty name, It's, that's actually the name of the lake. And I brought this up before, but I wanted to talk about it today. Our history. Because I'm just going to talk about Cass Lake today, but it's really the history of, of America that's at stake here. Of everything, actually. Oh, Sheila's here. Boozhoo, Sheila. Sheila's here, sweetie. Boozhoo, Sheila. Natasha says hello. And we're talking about Cass Lake. My earliest memories are of Cass Lake. The story of my family is goes back to the old country, Bena, Minnesota. My grandpa and his father and his father's father, and far back as we know, we're from the Bena band of Leech Lake, OJIBWE, or whatever. They lived in Bena before there was a Leech Lake reservation. And so Bena is east of Cass Lake, about 10, 15 miles. So the day came when my grandparents decided to migrate west. And they made it as far as Cass Lake. And so they stayed in Cass Lake for a while. And Cass Lake is the headquarters of the Leech Lake Indian Reservation in northern central Minnesota. It's kind of a tourist town. But, after they set up the reservation and all that, they decided, okay, Leech Lake or Cass Lake will be the headquarters of the Leech Lake Reservation. So that's where the tribal offices are. That's where, the chairman and everybody does their business. And, there's a casino there, and there's a casino in Walker, and one out in Deer River. Anyway, so it's a reservation, right? And, but it's named Cass Lake. And even in the lake, they changed the name of the lake. I mean, I would understand it if they wanted to change Leech Lake. If people were like, what's that place called? Leech Lake? Ugh. Why don't we rename it to be like Pleasant Lake or Fish Lake or Seaweed Lake? Anything would be better than Leech Lake. Call it Pollution Lake. We'd get more people swimming in a place called Pollution Lake than Leech Lake. Anyway, but they keep Leech Lake. But they changed the name of Red Cedar Lake to Cass Lake. And then they changed the name of that area. So there wasn't a town there, but the people lived there. It was called the Place of the Red Cedars. And so you ask yourself, well, why is it called Cass Lake? What's that named after? And you go, well, who was Cass? Lewis Cass. Oh, look at you. You're not creepy looking at all. Oh, and look at that. A Masonic symbol. Lewis Cass was I think he was a governor for Michigan. He was the head Freemason Grand Dragon guy, whatever. He brought Freemasonry to Michigan. And he worked for the president at that time for the Indian Removal Act. I mean, he was just a creep. Big, fat, greasy-haired, dead-eyed, secret society, Freemasonic, Luciferian, douchebag. So we decide, hey, you know what? Let's name our town after him. Why? Don't know. That's my point. Who was in charge when that town got started? So you look up the history, and it goes, oh, you know what? When the railroad came in 1898, they built a railroad for the first time in northern Minnesota. That's when they started the lumber companies. You can't, I guess, there were stories about, you can float the trees down the river. That's how they did it before the railways. But the towns all started right at the end of the 1800s, beginning of the 1900s, like within years of each other. I think it was 1898, Lewis Cass started Cass Lake. He named it that. And they talk about the railway station being built, and that started the lumber industry. And then the towns all got populated by white people because of the booming lumber industry. Okay. So at the same time, go up the road about 20 minutes to Bemidji Gamug. That's where we are today, to Bemidji, Minnesota. And they say, oh yeah, we built a courthouse here in 1900. Like just a year or two after this brand new railway station was built, we used that railway, that single train track, to haul up limestone from Indiana and built a beautiful courthouse. And the town was founded on that summer. And then thousands of people came here, and they, for some reason, they didn't rename Bemidji. So Lewis Cass, I guess my point is our history, all our towns. Oh, here's the other dumb thing about Cass Lake. So headquarters of the sovereign nation, the brave, proud, free Anishinaabe people of the Leech Lake Reservation, the Leech Lake Band of Chippewa Indians. Never had a Native American mayor until 2003. All right. Okay, shame on you guys for taking over a town with your free Masonic weirdos and, doing whatever. But shame on us for... So then the headquarters of the Leech Lake Reservation. Oh, we got a chairman. Different one every 4 years. He's the leader of the Leech Lake Reservation. You go, oh, is he really? Or is it Lewis Cass? Or is it the succession of white mayors of your town for 100 years? Wasn't until old Elaine Fleming became mayor. Another storyteller. But yeah, hey, Boozhoo Elaine, if you're watching. Yeah. And good for her, But how, what kind of that's why I don't trust the government. That's why? Yeah. There's all this weird shenanigans. Everybody is pulling the strings in the old days, where these creepy, fat, greasy-haired, jowly, Freemasonic. I mean, what is that? What's he got hanging off his belt? Is that like one of them watches? I don't know. I don't like it. We got to rename Cass Lake. Or maybe not. Because, I was thinking for a while there, I was all like, you know what we should do? We should rename it to the Ojibwe word for that area. Ga-Miskwa Wakokag, the place of the red cedars. Ga-Miskwa Wakokag. And Red Cedar Lake. Get rid of that. But then, if we do, then all the evidence that all these towns were founded by Freemasons would get lost in history. This is at least some evidence that at least the people who were writing down what presumably happened were all part of a secret society of weirdos known as the Freemasons. All right, see you later, Lewis Cass, you fat turd. Boozhoo, children. Welcome to History Hour on Sesame Street. Today's episode of Sesame Street is brought to you by the letter S for secret. Secret Society. Jessica Gonzalez is here this morning. Mino Giga Jabe. Jessica's here, sweetie. Mino Giga Jabe, Jessica. And Brandy Marie is here. Boozhoo Brandy. Nice to see you. Grieving Turtle says, surprisingly, my homecoming date is now a 32nd degree Freemason. Oh, wow, really? He was super nice in high school. Yeah, that's the weird thing. There's probably a lot of really cool Freemasons now. Just guys who have no idea that their organization is part of the pyramid, that they're the guys on the back of the dollar bill, that they probably killed Kennedy and all that. But, you don't know what you're involved in. Like, not every Catholic's a pedophile, for crying out loud. Let's see. Jim Dunn's here. Boozhoo, Jim. Live long and prosper. So yeah, the Freemasons. They're free. So the secret they're keeping is that our history is totally fabricated. They just write down, just like Wikipedia, Like, okay, let's say we're going to say that we started Cass Lake in 1898. Nobody remember. And let's say that this is what happened. And we built all the buildings after 1900. After we had to cram in all development of northern Minnesota in the span of about 50 years. Because, the one story of the migration, the gold rush down in California. And they have another story about French fur traders up here. And then the railway track. That's a really cryptic part of our history. There's not much discussion anymore. The people who built railways and bridges and the great architects or whatever. Are they architects who build bridges? I think so. Or engineers, maybe? Yeah. All across this country. There's just some amazing stone bridges that, trains have to... tunnels go through mountains. They did all that in the days of the Wild West. While we were hunting with, arrowhead spears, arrowhead with arrows, with tips made of rock. We were hunting birds that way. The white man was, without enslaving Chinese people. They're also kind of gray on that story. But apparently the Chinese built the railways in Northern America. Because whenever they talk about the gold rush, there's always like Chinese guys blowing up stuff with dynamite. And it's like, oh. So they laid the track all over the whole continent, even way up here in the woods, even throughout the 6 months of winter. For crying out loud, it's the middle of March, and it's still winter here. We had that one nice day. I thought it was spring. Like half of the snow melted away, and then I woke up yesterday and it's back on. Don't put away your winter boots yet. Winter's back on. So then they say, oh yeah, well, the Freemasons. They never say the Freemasons, but apparently a small group of secret, powerful people who all knew each other, from Andrew Jackson to whoever. All part of an organization that, I hate to burst your bubble, Midwesterners, don't love Jesus. George Washington and those guys, they're a bunch of creepy secret religion people too. I think they were the Scientologists of their day. You think so? Yeah. They were, a lot of people want to say, oh yeah, America was founded on Christian values. Sorta. But not because George Washington valued those things. He was what do they call him? A theist? Just like Benjamin Franklin. They're all part of the weird secret cults. Baphomet. Hello, children. Today's episode of Sesame Street is brought to you by the letter B for Baphomet, the goat god of the Satanists.
Hey, sweetie,
Yeah?
you got a call.
Oh, okay. What line?
Line 2.
All right. Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, Nanaboozhoo.
Oh, Donald Trump.
Yeah, I wanted to call in and I wanted to weigh in on some of your conspiracy theories.
Oh, really? Do you follow some of this, hidden ancient history or whatever they call it, reset history?
Yes, I've been watching some of the YouTube videos about it, and I find it very fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, how much do you know? I don't think you become president without having, friends in secret places.
Yeah, never mind that.
Were you part of Skull and Bones?
I can't talk about it, and if I was, I couldn't tell you. That's what they're telling me. I don't know if it's true. That's just what I know.
Okay. How come you gotta sound so creepy?
Because everything we do on this level is kinda creepy.
Yeah, it is, huh? What can I do for you today, sir?
Well, I was wondering if I could give the OJIBWE word of the day.
You guys, you always do this. You call into my show. You want to do a Ojibwe word of the day yourself. We have one already. It's Ga Misqua Wako Gog, the place of the red cedars.
Oh, well, I'm deeply disappointed in you. I used to think your show was tremendous, but now I just don't know. Now I think you're fired.
Oh, you haven't said that in a while, huh?
Yeah, I kept on waiting for someone. I wanted to hear Joe Biden say, "You're fired." But of course, Sleepy Joe was asleep.
Yeah, okay. Well, I gotta go, man. I got a show to do here.
All right, then. I'll see you later. Gigawabba min. Minowa.
Yeah, I'll see you later. So the Don calls in. I haven't heard much from him. He's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, you really haven't.
I wonder if he's down at George Bush's ranch. Maybe he's taking up painting or something. I think that whole Trump thing was kind of anticlimactic, don't you?
I know. At first I didn't really think he was going to lose. And then I thought he wouldn't leave when he was asked to, but then he just went away.
Yeah. It's spooky. I guess I would have expected him. I kind of thought they'd have to get security to get rid of Trump. But no. He was like, yeah, okay, sorry. You guys don't want me here.
Sweetie, got another call.
Oh, okay. Line 2?
Yep, line 2.
Hey, man, what's going on? Oh, geez. How you doing, Joe Biden?
Yeah, that's Joe Biden.
Yeah, I know. How are you?
I'm good. You know what? You should get that Trump on the line again.
You want to talk to Trump?
Yeah, you know why? Because I would tell him, you're fired. Come on, man. You're fired.
Yeah, that was his joke.
That's what I should have said when I became the president. I'm president now,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, come on, man. Stick with me.
Stick with you. Yeah, okay.
So what are you doing?
I'm trying to do a podcast, man, and you're interrupting. What can I do for you?
Oh. Well, do you know what?
Joe? I think you fell asleep. Mr. President!
Huh? Who's there?
Yeah, it's Nanaboozhoo. You fell asleep again.
Who's that?
I gotta go, man.
Oh. You're fired. What? Oh, come on, man.
I gotta go.
Okay. Gigawa min. Minowa.
I don't know, man. I guess I was hoping that taking some of these calls would be funnier, but these guys don't seem to know what they want to say once they get on the show. Yeah. They all want to teach an Ojibwe word of the day. Yeah, it's like they got one bit. Somebody should put some more thought into what our call-in guests were going to say. I know, sometimes they don't have anything to say. Yeah. I like it when Sylvester Stallone calls in. He always has something to talk about. Yeah. Should we give him a call? No, I don't think we can. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So, Trump is out. Biden's in. Biden doesn't seem to want to do any press conferences. Have you seen him do any press conferences yet? No, I haven't, but I haven't really been watching much either. Yeah, me either. It's kind of like, I mean, when Trump was in there, you couldn't get him to shut up. He'd do a press conference, and then he'd run back to his office and crack open a Diet Coke and start tweeting about what just happened. You're like, yeah, we get it, man. How much attention do you need? Grieving Turtle says, the congressional idiots in D.C. now are spending like criminal felons with no conscience. Yeah, I guess we're getting another check. I know, $1,200 or something. Yeah, I guess they're gonna. Thank you, taxpayers, for the free money. I don't know if that's in addition to the $600 or what. I don't know. I got a letter saying, yep, you've been approved for $600. Didn't see anything. Nothing's happened so far. And then the news says, oh, we're going to give you $1,200 checks. Oh, really? All right. I guess, I don't know. I mean, who am I to say no to our socialist overlords? They want to cut me a check as the economy goes down the drain. We can always go buy some more coffee. Makere mashkiki wabu, makere mashkiki wabu, niwi eya. So Cass Lake. Somehow its history has been a suspect. I wish my grandpa was still alive. I have so many more questions than I had when he was living about his grandpa. That'd be my first question. Grandpa, how come you didn't talk about your grandpa more? My grandpa and his brothers were best friends, and they worked with their dad. It was like a whole family thing. Oh, Lyons Landing. Real Indian guides. They worked together and played together. They had horses and boats. And they were great fishermen. And people would travel, from Chicago and stuff to come up just to go fishing with my grandpa and his brothers. Because they wanted the real Indian experience. Get a real Indian guide on that Lake Winnebagoshish. And, but for all the stories I heard, I didn't hear many stories about his grandpa. What was he like? But also, what was the town like? My grandpa never lived in a wigwam, but I'm guessing his grandpa did. When did all the Freemasons come up here and start renaming everything? From now on. But I guess, there's a line in Train Spotting where these Scottish guys go out to the moor or whatever, and they're talking about being colonized by the English. And the guy goes, I don't hate the English for colonizing us. I hate the Scottish for being colonized. It's like, honor your elders. Well, nice going, ancestors. You let these fat, greasy... really, come on, you guys. We couldn't resist these guys? The great Okichida, the warriors? These guys came up and took over. And you guys just rolled over and let them. And then you continue to let them govern you. I mean, yeah, not every mayor until Elaine was a Freemason, I don't think, but, you know. Because you know what it is? It's just like us in this Czech now. You know, just like my ancestors, as soon as they started getting something for nothing, they let them do whatever they wanted. Louis Cass comes up here and says, hey, man, here's a whole bunch of commods. Don't while you guys are busy eating your free cheese there, we're going to rename this town. We're going to, you know. But also, I don't believe that they built all the grand old architecture. But what was my grandpa's grandpa doing? Did he know about what later became called the Beltrami Courthouse? You know. Why did they name Bemidji after Bemidji Gamug? If he was just one guy, like it wasn't like he was the leader of the Leech Lake Band or anything. Everyone wants to call him Chief Bemidji. Everyone thinks Chief Bemidji is this guy. No, not this guy. I call him Chief Adolf. Chief Adolf. This is our leader in Bemidji. Chief Adolf. Given the Heil Hitler to Paul Bunyan. That's the lesser known statue across the street from Paul Bunyan and Babe. He gets no respect. This is the Land O'Lakes girl's dad, Chief Adolf. You know, you recognize he's got that single feather up there. Chief Adolf of the Bemidji Band of Leech Lake, you know, whatever. I don't know. Where did that guy come from? You know, who are these people that put up these huge statues that look cheap, but, you know, have stood the test of time? You know, you got Paul Bunyan looking like a Plato statue. But, you know, that thing's still standing, 100 years counting. And Chief Adolf here, looking like one of those plastic toys you'd have as a kid. You know, you go to Deer Valley to go feed the deer, and then they have the gift shop, and you can buy either a beaded leather belt or, you know, a rubber tomahawk, or tomahawk, as we say in Ojibwe. Or you can buy an action figure that looks like Chief Adolf of the Nazi band of Leech Lake, Ojibwe. Nah. Don't joke about that. Whoops. Don't you know there was a Holocaust? Do you deny? I don't even think there was a Holocaust of natives. I hate it when they say that. And the white man came, and there was the Native American, no, they don't call it genocide. This ain't rock and roll. This is genocide. No, 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 no. Can you name that Bowie tune? Is that Diamond Dogs? That's right. As it pulls you out of the oxygen tent. That's right. Would you like to come up and say hello to the people? Sure. All right, you guys. I'm going to let Natasha come up and say hello. But before I do that, let me, here's a song by Michael and Natasha called Leech Lake. And I might have to, let's see. La 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 la. So I wrote take two. So I wrote a song about Leech Lake, how to say it in Ojibwe. Gazakasquat Jamaica, Gazakasquat Jamaica. It's fun when you sing it. Now Natasha's gonna bring it.
Gazakasquat Jamaica, Gazakasquat Jamaica, Gazakasquat Jamaica, Gazakasquat Jamaica,
Gazakasquat Jamaica, Gazakasquat Jamaica, Gazakasquat Jamaica, Gazakasquat. Oh,
You think you got it? Gazakasquat Jamaica, Leech Lake. La 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 la. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lyons on the guitar. And you have been watching Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Natasha Nindigenous. So yeah, Boozhoo. It's nice to be back. And let's see who's here. Jessica Gonzalez. He was apparently the first permanent resident of Bemidji. Oh yeah. Bemidji, whatever his name was. Shana Wishkung. Yeah. He was the first one. They also booted him out, by the way. I'm going to go back a little bit. The congressional idiots in D.C. are now spending, yep. If you don't get within 7 days of the letter, there's a website you can go to claim the money. Oh, okay. 7 days? All right. Of course, we threw out that letter. Grieving Turtle says, people in prison are getting checks. Nice. It costs every person $5,000 in future taxes to get $1,400 now. Yeah. It's so stupid. Why are we giving prisoners money? What are they going to buy in there except drugs? Well, they had military power at hand. Yeah. Yeah, they did have military. Hunter! Boozhoo, Hunter! Hunter Weinke. Weinke. I don't know. Weinke is here this morning. How you doing? And Jessica says, he was the first resident. Okay. Loved your Superman video you three did the other day. Did an excellent job. Thank you, Brandy Marie. Brandy Marie likes our Superman video.
well, you sang it.
Yeah, I know. Such a sweet song. I can't stand to fly. I'm not that naive. It's so sad. You know, no one ever thinks about how sad it is to be Superman. You know, Superman, just like Peter Parker, had to hide how awesome he was. I heard there was a movie like Kill Bill or one of these where the guy breaks down why Superman was the best superhero. And he goes, everybody else pretended to be their superhero persona. You know, Bruce Wayne became Batman. Peter Parker became Spider-Man. But Superman really was born Superman, and he became Clark Kent. His real clothes are his Superman clothes, but he wears a costume of being Clark Kent, a suit. And he has to pretend that he's dorky and They don't make him nerdy enough in the movies anymore. But I guess it would have been kind of hard to make somebody that buff be totally unappealing to women. But Clark Kent is Superman trying not to let everyone know that he's super. But then, Clark Kent's, he's not a human, I guess. Well, he's humanoid. He's not an earthling. But, he's got feelings too. And, I get like this sometimes when you get depressed. You ever get depressed and you go, I have no right to be depressed. With so many people in the world having such terrible things, how dare I get depressed? I'm so lucky. I mean, look at me. I'm just gorgeous. But, I have all these things to be grateful for. But then when I start to feel sad and start to feel sorry for myself, it's lonely because you feel like you don't have the right to complain. And I must be like that for Superman. Even heroes have the right to dream, and it's not easy to be me. You guys ever feel that way? It's just not easy to be you. Sometimes it's just hard. So Hunter says, good morning. Good morning, Hunter. Laugh out loud. Why did they boot him out and then make a statue of him? Yeah. So the story of Bemidji Gamug. No, not Bemidji Gamug. That's a lake. Story of Chief Bemidji. It was never called that. The story of the man who rattles. Shena Wishkong. Kong or tongue? Shena Wishtong. I want to say tongue. Shena Wishtong. The man who rattles was apparently the first guy that the pioneers encountered. And they asked him what his name was, and he thought, because he didn't speak English, he thought they asked what the name of the place was. So he goes, Bemidji Gamug. And the white guys go, oh, his name is Bemidji. Bemidji something. It must be Chief Bemidji. Wow. A real chief. Can you believe it, guys? We met Chief Bemidji. And Shena Wishkong was like, no, man. Bemidji's the lake. I'm Shena Wishkong. And then just like every story of First Contact, the white people are like, get the name wrong. Oh, you guys are called Indians, right? No. We're the Wampanoag. You guys are Indians. We're going to call you Indians. And you can't change our minds. So the white guys go, oh, your name is Bemidji. No, it's not. That's the name of the lake. We're going to call you Chief Bemidji forever. In fact, we're going to name the town, and then we're going to start telling people we didn't name it after the lake, that we named it after you, the Chief of Bemidji. And in fact, we're going to get our creepy Freemason buddies to build a little mini Washington monument in the graveyard here with your name, Chief Bemidji. And we're not going to put, this is all true, by the way. So they kick him out. So Chief Bemidji, the name somehow they name the town after this interaction with Shena Wishkong, with the man who rattles, having to do with like a turtle rattle. And he lived on the shores of Lake Bemidji in a wigwam. And he went to the brand new lumber mill, and he was the first guy to buy lumber so he could build a floor for his wigwam. He was like, you know what, this old dirt floor is really cold, honey. I'm going into the white man's village, and I'm going to buy some of those 2x4s or whatever. We're going to get a nice wood floor. You want that, honey? Pine floor? Oh, we'll really be styling. And then, so he goes in there, and he wants to buy wood. And the lumber company says, this is in Wikipedia. They go, no, in fact, not only can you not buy our lumber, we're going to expand our lumber company right where your wigwam is. You need to get out of here. And he was like, and this is why he was not so great either. They said, no Indians allowed in Bemidji. Whatever year this was. And he goes, what if I renounce my tribal membership? He actually, was going to make a deal. It was back in the days before you could just identify as whatever. Oh, from now on, I identify as a white man. So let me live here. They're like, no, get out of here, redskin. Why don't you go back to the res where you belong? So he went back to Cass Lake, or to the Lake of the Red Cedars. And then the locals say, yeah, he died in Cass Lake. He's buried out in Mission. But Bemidji has a big old, I had a picture at one point, but it's a big monument. It stands about 6 feet tall. And it looks like a stubby Washington monument. That big tall thing with the pyramid on top in Washington. And it says Chief Bemidji. And it has an Indian head nickel emblem on this monument. And that's it. What? Is this his tombstone? It can't be. Because why would the family allow them to put the name Chief Bemidji on his tombstone and forget to put his birth and death date? So I don't even know what that thing is. It's a mystery. History is a mystery. I don't know. Hunter says, is it pronounced wigwam or wigwam? Oh, wigwam. Yeah, it is kind of pronounced wigwam with 2 I's. Because it's from the word for birch bark, wigamig. I've always thought it should be wigwam because it's made from wigwas. Oh yeah, wigwas. Yeah. Yeah, wigwas. What did I say? Wigwamig? Yeah, I agree. I think it is. Wigwas. Exactly how it sounds, grieving. La la la. I get behind on these comments. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's just some of my thoughts on Bemidji. And just a weird, if there's ever a history story, there's going to be some nonsense attached to it. You go, what? That doesn't make sense. Why would they? Is it possible this story you heard about how the name Bemidji came could be maybe not 100% accurate? But nope. They teach us stuff to our children like it's fact. And I don't know what the truth is, but I don't think it's not. So, yeah. Anyway. Do you remember? La la da 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 da. Let's see, anybody else gonna call in? Doesn't look like it. Gamisquawakokog. The place of the Red Cedars. Whoops. I didn't want to do that. All right, honey. Well, I think I've pretty much said everything I had to say. Did you want me to send this out? Sure, would you mind? Okay. Hey, everybody. I just wanted to say, Miigwech Ganawabi Egg. Thank you for watching. Boozhoo Nanaboozhoo, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Natasha, and this is Nanaboozhoo, and that's Michael Lyons. And, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Oh, wow, Rick is here. Boozhoo, Rick. Rick says, been listening while drinking some good whiskey. See you, Michael. Oh, good coffee. Sorry, I read that wrong. All right, we'll see you later, everybody. Gigawabamin, Minawa, Hoa. And live stream, do.